Alright, hello everybody, this is Zaxter99, jumping back into No One But You with my playthrough. This will be episode number 7. And if you'll remember, the last episode, number 6, was pretty traumatic for our star Hideaki, when he, took it upon himself to try to hold the hand of Shinatsu. And Shinatsu was the friend that he made on the bridge that he had strong feelings for. Probably the first girl he ever had feelings for when he went back to the small town in Japan. And, he had met her and she had talked about how she knew him as a young kid. He didn't really remember that. But he tried to hold her hand on the bridge in the last episode to let her know that, he cared about her and, he had strong feelings for her. And she kind of freaked out and ran off. And he didn't see her at the bridge, kept going back to the bridge all summer long and never saw her. And was really, really so torn up about it that he didn't really have any kind of fun the whole rest of the summer. Didn't spend any time with friends or anything. His mom kind of got on to him and was trying to ask him what's wrong and everything like that. And he just kind of blew up at his mom. And went to his first day of school and kind of told off Megumi, who really likes him. Didn't take her offer to, go to lunch with her. And been putting off Ryo, his other friend. And he's just really, really down. And really, really wants to see this girl Shinatsu again. And he's hoping that he sees her at school somewhere. But that's kind of where we left off at the very end of episode number 6. So let's go back and jump back into this game. And see if that he can find Shinatsu at school on the first day of school here today. So let's go ahead and jump back in, and we'll be back right after this to do episode number 7, everybody. Alright, welcome back everybody. So what we're going to do here is we are going to go ahead and no, that's not it. That's what we played yesterday. So I hope we saved the game. Hang on guys, let's see here. Load data. There we go, right here. Alright, yes, this is the last thing he said was, I can't keep living like this, with his heart broken over what happened over Shinatsu. So, August the 10th, this was the first day back at school, and let's go ahead and continue here. Hideaki. Alright, this is it. Wow, jumping right into it, huh? Okay, oh, he's going to her club room in the school where she, did the book reading club or whatever. I steadied myself as I stood in front of a small classroom, shoved at the back of the old school building in which the club rooms reside. The sign on the door, discolored by age, clearly read, Literature Club. Although I've only been here twice before, the experiences won't soon fade. It was kind of surreal, sitting by Shinatsu's side, listening as she verbally escorted me into another world. I can only hope that she's still willing to finish the story we started together. I paused as my hand neared the door, afraid to knock. Wow, he is really, really nervous, isn't he? Dang. My heart began pounding in my chest. My breathing hastened. This room, in which the person I longed to see might be present, scared me. Sigh, what am I doing? Why am I hesitating now? And again, remember, if we don't see his picture, this is just all thoughts he's having internally to himself. Ever since that incident, all I've thought about was seeing Shinatsu again. So why? Why am I hesitating now? There's no guarantee that Shinatsu will even be in there. She might have skipped out on the club activities for the day. Either way, I guess I'll never know unless I take the plunge and open the door. So I say, "Excuse me, sorry for the intrusion." Softly muttering under my breath, I finally took the door handle in my hand. Oh, the tension is real, guys. To my relief, the door swung open easily. It wasn't locked. Does that mean Shinatsu is here after all? I looked around the room anxiously, searching for the sole member of the literature club. As I did, I took in the familiar sight of the open windows, the wooden floor and chairs, the books piled high, and Shinatsu. So she's in here, huh? All right. Sitting at the table, wielding a thick paperback in one hand, Shinatsu paid the book in front of her no mind. Instead, her eyes remained fixated, staring right at me. I should have expected as much. I did just come in here uninvited after all. She must be surprised. Is that why she's blushing? I took one awkward step into the literature club room, and then another. Shinatsu isn't the only one blushing. I know I am too. Hey there, Shinatsu. I haven't seen you in a while. Heidi-kun. Shinatsu bowed her head. Is she trying to hide her face from me? Maybe she thinks that will help obscure her blush? If she does, it's too late. I've already seen it. I'm sorry. It's been so long since I last saw you, Hideaki. My parents took me away on a holiday, so, I didn't get a chance to see you. Yeah. Ha! She was away on a holiday after all. What a relief. Contrary to my initial relief, it didn't take long for doubt to set it. It was a likely story, one I had mused myself, and far more comforting than if she simply didn't want to see me. But with her voice trembling so obviously, not to mention the rest of her body, I couldn't believe her. Aw. Still, I don't want to cross-examine her. I'm not a detective. This isn't a crime drama, and there's no dead body. Greeting Shinatsu with a string of questions would be a terrible way to reunite after all this time. So he doesn't believe her, and I don't think I really believe her either that she was away with her parents. But anyway, so Hideaki says, that's alright, your parents sound kind of impulsive, just like my mom, haha. Although I resolved myself to not interrogate Shinatsu, even I noticed the tone of suspicion in my voice. What am I doing? Am I trying to push her away from me? Surely enough, my comment merited a look of further unease on Shinatsu's part. Her skin, tinted light pink only moments ago, turned so white that she looked ill. Oh wow. Look, Hideaki-kun, I just don't think that we should see each other anymore. Oh wow. I took a step backwards, as though I had been struck. My chest hurt, and I suddenly found it hard to breathe. What are you talking about? I'm not saying this to hurt you, but I don't think this will work. Our friendship? If you just wanted to be friends, then that would be alright, I suppose. Even if that would inevitably hurt you too. Shinatsu bit her lower lip. But that isn't all you want, is it? I mean, after you tried to hold my hand, so she did notice. I wasn't just being paranoid. After I tried to hold her hand, she really did start to avoid me. It's painful to think about, but at least that's one mystery solved. I just think that I'm wrong for you, Hideaki-kun. Liking me, loving me,
you'll only become more and more unhappy.
Wow. The scene unfolding before me felt unreal, like something from a TV drama. A young girl, softly spoken and mysterious, and a young boy, desperately in love, together in the rundown literature club room after school. It's so cliché that I could laugh if it didn't hurt so much. Shinatsu could have kicked me or spat on me, and it would probably hurt less than these vague, mysterious, incomprehensible words of warning. Would it kill her to be a little more precise? Well, let's put love aside for now. I mean, we're both in high school. It's too early to talk about things like that, right? So, can't we at least be friends?
I don't know. It's complicated, Hideaki-kun. Really complicated.
How complicated can it be? I don't understand. I don't think that Shinatsu is a bad person, not by any stretch of the imagination. Even so, I'm beginning to think that she's playing mind games with me. It's obvious that there's something she wants to say, but for whatever reason, she won't. Is it her parents? Maybe they're strict, and they don't like her hanging out with friends when she should be studying. Or maybe it's another commitment. Does she have a part-time job? No, if either one of those were the case, then why does she hang around the bridge in town so often? Did her circumstances change suddenly? A death in the family, perhaps? I don't know. I'm just grasping at straws here. It's all I can do, given that she hasn't told me exactly what's wrong. Even if it is complicated, can't you try to break it down for me a little?
I can't.
Why not?
I just can't.
Were it not for the pained look on her face, I might have thought Shinatsu was toying with my feelings. But with her brow furrowed and her teeth almost drawing blood from her lip, I knew that wasn't the case. It looks like she's trying to stop herself from saying something she might regret later. But what could it be? Look, Shinatsu, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I just want to know if I did anything, or said anything. I want to know if there's anything I can do to fix this. Shinatsu winced, as though I had just slapped her.
I'm sorry, Hideaki-kun. You didn't do anything wrong. This is all my fault. I should have never spoken to you to begin with. I'm sorry for putting you through all this. It's all because I was so selfish. I should have known. I should have known it would work out this way. Why am I so stupid?
Shinatsu's chest heaved, and her voice grew faint, as though she was gasping for air, drowning. Hearing her pained voice, I felt the same discomfort. Guilt racked my mind, and her misery hurt me deeply. Even though she says I didn't do anything wrong, I can't help but feel that this is my fault. I'm the reason for that distorted expression on her face. I'm sure of it. If only I knew the reason why. Shinatsu, please tell me what's wrong. Shinatsu took a step backwards, totally ignoring my request.
Hideaki.
Shinatsu said my name in a faint voice.
Do you remember the little novel we used to read together?
Alone Universe? Yeah. Why bring it up now?
We never had the time to finish the story together. Have you ever wondered what happens in the end?
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested in knowing how it ends. Shinatsu picked up the novel that was on the table next to her. She looked at the cover for a few seconds, then her eyes were back on me.
You see, the boy was left all alone in that cold cottage, with no trace of anyone else. The boy grew really attached to the other three that he met in the cottage. They were the only people he knew in that vast empty world, but within the blink of an eye, they all disappeared. The boy was really sad. He was devastated, and he didn't know how to cope with his feelings. He started blaming himself for their absence, saying that if it wasn't for him, they could have been living happily in that cozy cottage right now. That's why he decided to continue his journey, his empty, endless journey, all on his own. Even if he saw a sign of a living being, he would just avoid it. He thought to himself, if I don't meet new people, then I wouldn't get hurt again. And with that, he just kept walking endlessly, alone. Why did Shinatsu feel like telling me the end of the story now? Is it supposed to mean something? Did Shinatsu decide to read this story with me because she likes it? Or is there some other reason? I mean, what is the moral of the story? Is it implying that being alone is a good thing? To distance yourself from others? To not meet new people because you're afraid to get attached to them and lose them? The boy at the end wasn't happy. I just don't get it. So he says, Shinatsu. I took a step forward and reached out, but as my hand neared Shinatsu, I once again realized how clueless I was. Really, what am I supposed to do in this situation? Pat her on the shoulder? Would that look too distanced? On the head? No, that would be too belittling. Then, would I dare hug her? Or would it just upset Shinatsu even more? I continued to internally debate the best course of action, wasting every moment until Shinatsu broke the silence. I'm sorry, Hideaki-kun. I have to go. And on that garbled note, Shinatsu rushed off. Shinatsu rose to her feet so quickly that she almost knocked her chair over, then raced out of the room like a whirlwind. Man, with agility like that, maybe she should think about joining the track team. I joked with myself in an attempt to ignore Shinatsu's desperate need to distance herself from me. But as I looked at my still outstretched arm and my trembling fingers, I knew that wouldn't be easy. And useless. I'm so useless. I was standing right there between Shinatsu and the door, and yet I couldn't stop her. It does seem a little strange, though. When Shinatsu scrambled to her feet, my fingers should have brushed her shoulders, or at least her long black hair, and yet for some reason, I didn't feel a thing. I shook my head, trying to remove the scene from my mind. No, that's just silly. I must be imagining things because I'm stressed out. Looking for something to take my mind off my own distress, I spotted something on the corner of my eye. Just as I prepared to leave, an item sitting on the tabletop drew my attention. It was the book Shinatsu had been reading. Curious, I approached the book and picked it up. Ah, so it's Natsumi Soseki, Kokoro. I studied this book before, back in my old school. Trust Shinatsu to read the Japanese classics for fun. I don't remember what happened in the book very well, but I do remember that it didn't have a happy ending. In fact, if I recall correctly, didn't the book end when the main character committed suicide? I frowned at the thought. Given Shinatsu's gloomy disposition, this book seems perfectly suited to her. I just hope it doesn't give her any ideas. Wow. Dang, I hope not either. Huh. Crazy. His seeing his hand go through her shoulder and not touch her hair and stuff like that, that's kind of making me think that, the same thing pretty much everybody's probably thinking as they've read this or that, that's hearing me read this for the first time. So, now I'm on the way home, I guess, and Megumi, no, this is the next day. Okay, June 19th, Tuesday. Megumi.
Good morning, Aki-kun. How are you on this fine, beautiful morning?
Megumi's voice, always several decibels higher than it should be, bore through my skull like a dentist drill. The split second I left my house to go to school, there was Megumi, waiting on my doorstep like an abandoned puppy. As considerate as it is for Megumi to wait for me, I can't agree with her summation. Fine, beautiful morning? Screw that. All I want to do right now is crawl upstairs and curl up in my bed. Though, I guess it's a little late for that. Besides, I did say Megumi could walk with me to school this morning, and I don't want to go back on my word. I'm just a little tired. I'll survive.
You're all right. You do look sleepy. The bags under your eyes are huge.
That's not very nice. Thank you for pointing that out, Megumi.
No problem.
Wow. Is she making fun of me? Or did Megumi really miss the sarcasm there?
Anyway, let's go. It'd be bad if the class rep herself was late for school.
Without waiting for my input, Megumi grabbed my hand and dragged me along behind her. I tried to resist, but in the face of Megumi's unusually high spirits, I knew there was no point. Geez, what's gotten into Megumi? She's always energetic, but today she seems to be in a better mood than usual. As I stared at her joined hands, another thought came to mind. Come to think of it, although I liken Megumi to a puppy and call her Hachiko, right now she's the one leading me around. Maybe this is a punishment for my wicked thoughts. I sighed internally, aware of the futility of resistance. Oh well, what's the harm? Even if seeing us like this gives people the wrong idea, I don't think anybody would really care. Besides, the streets are relatively deserted, so it's not like... Oh, Hideaki-kun, are you going to school with your girlfriend? Who's saying that? Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. A woman from my neighborhood greeted us as she stood proudly in her garden. And she smiled happily at the two of us, showing no ill intent whatsoever. In return, Megumi waved enthusiastically, wearing a smile so bright it put the woman's sunflowers to shame. Wow, she's happy. At least somebody is, right?
That's right, I'm Megumi, and I'm Hideaki's girlfriend. Really, how nice.
Okay, this has gone far enough. Thud.
Ow!
Megumi whimpered, using her free hand to nurse the top of her head.
What was that for? Why did you hit me?
Because you're giving people the wrong idea. If you say things like that, the neighbors will start gossiping.
Oh, so you're not going out after all?
Says the old lady. No, we're not. Megumi was just teasing you. Megumi frowned as she puffed her cheeks out.
But Heidi, I'm a girl, and I'm your friend.
Well, that's true enough.
So that means I'm your girlfriend, right?
Sigh. What kind of elementary school reasoning is this? We're not 6 years old anymore. A line like that might work when delivered by a childhood friend, but I've only known Megumi for a couple of months. It means that you're a female friend, not my girlfriend. There's a big difference.
Huh, if you say so.
Megumi continued to pout.
Oh well, we can't keep standing around here, or we really will be late. Bye-bye, miss. Goodbye, it was nice meeting you, Megumi-kan. Yes, you too. And don't worry, we'll be neighbors before you know it.
Huh? Nope, not touching that one. Huh. Wow. Yeah, I think that, when you're really down and you're really upset, sometimes seeing somebody so happy and cheery is almost like even worse. It makes your heartache or whatever bad day you're having or whatever, it just magnifies it. I think we've all been there, where we've just really been having one of the worst days of our life, or it felt like it anyway, and then seeing somebody so happy and cheery or whatever, it just it hits a nerve. It's like, how can this person be this happy when I'm going through the hell I am? Can't they see the pain in my voice? That kind of thing. So I kind of feel for Hideaki right now. So anyway, Megumi walked along ahead of me, no longer holding my hand. Even so, she continued smiling, humming a tune under her breath. Even though I find Megumi's boundless enthusiasm a bit exhausting, I have to admit, it's also rather impressive. She spoke to a complete stranger so easily, and even seemed to get along with her, despite exchanging only a handful of words. Although... Megumi, do you spend a lot of time with your grandparents?
Oh yeah, I do. I love them a lot.
And do they give you a big allowance every New Year's?
Of course. They say I'm their darling little Gumi-chan.
I knew it. Megumi's just popular with old people. Oh boy. They must all be deceived by her bright smiles and innocent charm. Megumi soon resumed her humming, having already moved past the scene from moments ago. Seriously, Megumi, you must be the polar opposite of Shinatsu. Shinatsu is quiet and reserved, polite to the point of awkwardness, content to read in silence for hours on end. Megumi, on the other hand, is fun and outgoing, easy to approach, friendly, and boisterous beyond compare. Really, I just can't understand how I can get along so well with two complete opposites like this. Although, right now, I guess it would be a stretch to say Shinatsu and I get along. Well, at least when I'm with Megumi, I don't have to worry about that stuff. If nothing else, her company should help distract me from the more depressing thoughts. In exchange for creepy encounters, like from this morning, that is.
Hey, Aki-kun.
Megumi suddenly stopped humming and turned to face me. Look at her face. Her voice was more serious than before, and she seemed unusually reserved as she spoke. What is it?
I was just thinking, you've been acting a little strange lately.
Strange? What do you mean?
Like, distant, I suppose. You never wanted to go out during the summer holiday, and you didn't want to eat with me at school yesterday either.
I told you that was because I got sunstroke. Megumi looked me up and down, placing her hand under her chin as though she was some kind of detective. All she's missing now is the pipe, and a deerstalker hat.
You look alright now, though.
Although Megumi acts dense most of the time, sometimes I do wonder how much of that is an act. Her common sense only seems to kick in when it's to her benefit. Incidentally, it fades when I need it the most. I feel better today. I made sure to have a cold shower last night.
Well, I'm glad you feel better, but... You know, I saw you in town a few weeks ago.
You did?
Yeah, I was going to say hi, but I just bought some ice cream from the convenience store, and I didn't want it to melt. Besides, you looked kind of serious, so I thought maybe you wanted to be alone. You were standing by that bridge, looking out over the water.
Oh, wow. She saw me at the bridge, alone. Damn. So, Megumi saw me when I was waiting for Shinatsu. This must have been during the last couple of miserable weeks of the summer holiday, when I waited by that bridge for hours on end. I don't really want to think about that now. It's depressing.
There was something funny about you, though, Heidi-kun. I was kind of worried.
Funny?
Yeah, I mean, you were standing there all alone, and yet...
Hey guys, walking to school like a pair of lovebirds, I see. Ryo. I heard a dull thud, and felt a weight pressed against my back. I blinked, momentarily winded, and turned around, searching for my assailant. Ugh, it's Ryo. Attached to my back was Ryo, acting as inappropriately clingy as ever. Yo. Go yo yourself, you could have broken my spine. Yeah, well, I could have, but I didn't, so it's fine.
Hey, what's the big idea? I was trying to have a serious conversation.
You? Serious? That's a good one, Megumi.
Don't be like that. I know I don't look very smart, but even I can be serious sometimes.
Again, look at her face here.
I might have pink hair, but that doesn't mean I'm an idiot.
Hey, calm down. I'm sorry if I interrupted anything, Megumi. I just wanted to talk to Heidi about the new Schoolgirls vs. Zombies game.
Well, I suppose that's fine.
Megumi sighed, unable to defend against Ryo's enthusiasm. Although she didn't say anything else, I got the sense that she would be disappointed. Just what was she going to ask me, I wonder? I guess I'll never find out now. Thanks to Ryo. Oh boy. So we're skipping, wow, like 10 days. 10 days later. What? June 26th? It was just August. What? How is it June 26th? I think that means August 26th. I think that's a mistake. Yeah. Yeah, that's got to be August 26th. Anyway, time slowly passed me by, and I still saw no sign of Shinatsu. I stopped by the literature club, only to find it locked, and visited the bridge daily, yet never managed to see her. After 1 week passed me by, a rather gloomy thought began to sprout inside my brain. Has Shinatsu stopped going to school altogether, just to avoid me? If so, she must really hate me. It would make sense, depressing as it may be, and yet I can't quite bring myself to believe it. If Shinatsu hated me, then why did she allow me to grow so close to her? Why did she talk to me so often, and why did she look so upset the last time I saw her? Something isn't right here. It's not adding up. Unfortunately, since Shinatsu hadn't told me anything about her circumstances, I don't have all the information I needed. I could only trudge through my daily life, running through the motions, forever troubling myself with increasingly melodramatic what-if scenarios. No, I can't keep going on like this. I can't keep waiting for Shinatsu, hoping to catch a glimpse of her at school, or in her club room, or by the bridge in town. What if there's something seriously wrong with her? Maybe one of her parents just died, or she's contracted a deadly illness. If so, then I want to know. I said I was Shinatsu's friend, and as her friend, it's my duty to stand by her side during these difficult times. Knowing Shinatsu, she might not have anybody else to turn to. She might be alienating me out of fear that her concerns will only trouble me. But that's wrong. Friends need to really rely on each other. That's what friends are for. After my class for the day ended, I found myself talking to my homeroom teacher. Excuse me, Sensei? Our homeroom teacher sighed as he heard my voice. I know I'm not the greatest student, but surely I didn't deserve that response. Yes, Nato-san, what is it? Well, I was just wondering, do you know a student called Masaki? Shinatsu Masaki? Shinatsu Masaki? Sensei repeated the question in his typical low, drawn-out manner. No, I don't think I know of a student by that name. Are you absolutely sure? Sensei nodded, and this time, it was my turn to sigh. What was I expecting? Sensei doesn't know the names of all the students in his own class, let alone the students in other classes. Alright, Sensei, thank you for your time. No problem, have a good evening, Nato-san. And if you're looking for somebody, you should go to the staff room and ask there. The other teachers might know more. Got it. Thanks, Sensei. On that note, I walk out of the classroom, trying to not let my obvious disappointment show. It was foolish of me to think I could find Shinatsu so quickly. It would be easier if I knew which class Shinatsu was in, so I could ask her homeroom teacher directly, but I don't. That is, yet again, an important detail I don't know about Shinatsu. Still, Sensei's advice was sound. I guess a trip to the staff room couldn't hurt. As optimistic as I was half an hour ago, my search proved to be in vain. Of the 5 teachers who were present in the staff room, none of them knew a Shinatsu Masaki. They had never even heard of her. There were other Masakis, and there were girls with similar names, but no trace of Shinatsu. This really is perplexing. I'd understand 1 or 2 teachers not knowing the name of a student, but 5? Heck, if we include my homeroom teacher, that would make 6, and not one of them has ever heard of her. Something isn't adding up here. As quiet as she is, I can't believe that Shinatsu would really go so unnoticed. As I began to think about giving up for the day, I heard footsteps approach from behind.
Aki-kun, you're still here?
Megumi. I turned to face Megumi, surprised to find her still on campus. What are you still doing here?
Did you forget? I'm the class rep. Besides, I had to stay behind for a student council meeting.
Oh, was it interesting?
About as interesting as watching paint dry. Really, all these meetings are so silly. We have them every single week, but nothing ever gets done.
It's so the school looks progressive and forward-thinking, allowing us students to make changes and important decisions?
Maybe on paper, but it never works out like that in reality.
You sound unusually bitter.
I'm just tired. I had a lot of work to do.
It certainly is true that Megumi seems more mellow than usual. If she really were a puppy, I imagine her ears would be drooping. Oh, wow.
Anyway, that's beside the point. Now you know what I'm doing here. What are you doing here, Heidi? You weren't trying to sneak into the girls' changing rooms, were you?
No, of course not. Why would I do that? Especially this late in the day when all the girls in the sports clubs have gone home already.
I don't know. I'm a girl, so I can't understand you boys. Maybe for the thrill of it?
I'm kind of hurt that you have such a low opinion of me, Megumi.
Huh? But you're always talking about that weird game you play with Ryo. What was it called? Schoolgirls versus Monsters?
It's schoolgirls versus zombies, and Ryo is the one who's obsessed with it, not me. Well, I'm not going to lie and say I'm not a bit interested in it. For the story, of course. Keep telling yourself that, Hideaki. You'll eventually believe it. Really, though, how did a girl like Megumi wind up on the student council anyway? Giving someone like her that much power, is it just because she's popular? That's how class representatives usually get chosen. Actually, that little piece of information might be just what I need. Say, Megumi, you're pretty popular, right?
I like to think so. I did get voted in as a class rep, after all.
So she realizes that it's just a popularity contest, huh? Of course, she might have gotten the job simply because nobody else wanted to do it. So you're familiar with the school, right? You know a lot of students here.
Sure, probably more than our homeroom teacher.
I should hope so.
Why are you asking anyway, Aki-kun? Are you looking for somebody?
Yeah, you could say that.
It's not a girl, is it? Surely you wouldn't ask your girlfriend to help you chase skirts.
Wow. There's no correct way to respond to that, is there? No, it's not like that. I mean, she is a girl, but I'm not trying to chase skirts. I'm just worried because she hasn't been attending lately, that's all.
Oh, I see. Well, I suppose I can help out then. What's her name?
Shinatsu Misaki. Do you know her?
Shinatsu Misaki? The name does ring a bell, but I don't think a student with that name goes to our school.
But she has to. I saw her wearing our school's uniform.
Maybe she was just a cosplayer? You can buy our uniform online really cheap.
I don't know about that. That seems a little odd. I can't imagine the graceful, elegant Shinatsu doing something that bizarre. It just doesn't add up. Besides, if that were the case, why would I have seen her at school? How would she have joined the literary club?
Actually, now that I think about it, maybe I did know a Shinatsu Misaki.
You did? Are you sure?
Yeah, I think we went to the same elementary school. She was a quiet girl with black hair. She didn't say much, so I never really spoke to her.
A quiet girl with black hair? That sounds like Shinatsu. I could feel my cheeks lift into a smile as I spoke. It seems like Shinatsu was much the same, even when she was a kid. I don't know if she goes to the school, though. In fact, her family moved away, if I recall correctly.
They moved?
Yeah, I think there was some sort of accident or something. It was a long time ago, and I wasn't really close to Shinatsu, so I don't remember much about it.
Well, it's not a lot, but it's better than nothing.
Do you know anything else, like where she used to live? Like I said, I wasn't close to her, so I don't know.
Megumi frowned. I could see that she was straining herself to remember.
I think she lived by that bridge in town. If you go there and ask around, you might find something. Sorry if that wasn't very helpful, Aki-kun.
No, it's fine. You were a lot more helpful than you think, Megumi. In fact, I'm so relieved that I feel like yelling for joy. Finally, I have a lead. I have proof that Shinatsu Misaki really does exist. No, that's true. Honestly, how did I not think to ask around about her? She's always hanging out by that bridge. Someone must know who she is. Right, I'm gonna go now. I'll see you later, Megumi.
Yes, see you, Heidi-kun.
I turned around and began to run, desperate to begin following my new lead. Finally, after weeks of agonizing, I have a clue about the elusive Shinatsu Misaki. I don't know how she's managed to keep such a low profile, but mark my words, I will find you, Shinatsu. Uh-oh. He's determined. 7 houses into my search, nothing had changed. Nobody had heard of the Misaki family, let alone Shinatsu, and nobody recalled seeing a girl matching her description. The looks I received were odd, and I felt like a salesman, walking from door to door, but it couldn't be helped. I hate door knockers as much as anybody, but desperate times call for desperate measures. I'll find Shinatsu, even if I have to ask everyone in town. I walked up to the next house and prepared myself for disappointment, simultaneously hoping for the best. The front door opened before my eyes, revealing the old woman within.
Yes, can I help you?
Well, at least elderly people are generally nicer about refusing to help. I was wondering, do you know if a Misaki family lives around here? The woman frowned in response to my question.
Misaki?
Yes, a friend of mine has been absent from school a while, so I've been worried about her, but I don't know where she lives. I've often seen her on the bridge near here, so I was thinking that... My voice trailed off before I had even finished speaking. I had given the same spiel to several strangers already, and the only change was how I was refused. At best, I received a sympathetic look and, I'm sorry, I hope your friend gets well soon. At worst, it was a look of irritation and a clipped, we don't know anything, please leave. So, what will the response be this time, I wonder?
Oh, I do know a Misaki family. The name does ring a bell.
It does?
That's right, Misaki.
The woman repeated the name to herself as though trying to stir a memory of years gone by.
Yes, I believe a Misaki family used to live in this house. My husband and I bought it from them nearly a decade ago.
As soon as the words left her mouth, I could feel the little sliver of hope I'd been nursing inside my chest shatter.
Oh my, are you alright? You look awfully pale.
No, I'm fine. Even if she was the bearer of bad news, I don't want to worry this nice old woman. Are you sure the family was Misaki?
Definitely. My memory might not be what it used to be, but I wouldn't forget something like that.
And they lived here 10 years ago?
Yes, my husband and I moved here to Okatama because it's so peaceful. We were getting tired of life up in the city and wanted to spend the rest of our days somewhere quieter. I remember how delighted my husband and I were when we found this house, and it was so cheap. It was almost as if the previous residents just wanted to be rid of it, though I can't imagine why.
I slowed my breathing as I tried to calm down and think. Even if the previous owners of this house were called Misaki, they aren't necessarily the family I'm after. Misaki isn't an uncommon name after all. Shinatsu isn't even the only Misaki at my school. This must be a coincidence, a big, inconvenient, scary coincidence. Even so, I'd better ask just to make sure. So, this Misaki family, did they have a daughter called Shinatsu?
A daughter?
The old woman placed one hand under her chin as she muttered to herself.
I never met their daughter, but they did mention having one.
They did?
Yes, now let me think. I believe it was something like, our daughter Shinatsu used to love it here too.
Wow, that's confirmation. After speaking with that old woman, I spent the rest of my time in a nauseating daze. I tried to process all the information at my disposal, work through the inconsistencies, but nothing added up. I don't understand. How could it be the same Misaki family, even though I met and spoke with Shinatsu multiple times? My imagination isn't nearly good enough to concoct such a vivid, realistic human being. And what are the odds that I'd imagine someone who really does exist? Even so, if what the old woman said is true, then I can't have met Shinatsu Misaki. It's not possible. According to that woman, Shinatsu and her family moved away from Okitama 10 years ago. I just don't get it. I don't understand this at all. Feeling sick to my stomach, I stopped dragging my heels and started walking home. My head hurt, and I could feel bile rising up in my throat. But above all, what pained me was how much sense everything else began to make. That must be why none of my teachers knew Shinatsu, and why I never saw her in the hallways at school. It also explains why Megumi hasn't seen her since elementary school. It's because Shinatsu Misaki shouldn't be in Okitama anymore. She shouldn't exist. And yet, despite that, I saw her, didn't I? I spoke to her. I sat in the literary club's clubroom with her. We stood on the bridge together. We walked to school together. At that moment, I realized the disgusting truth. I was the only one. Shinatsu even told me that herself. She said she didn't have any other friends. I never saw anybody else interact with her, and she never mentioned other people. Now I know why. After all, how could a girl who isn't supposed to exist here have friends? Although my destination was supposed to be my own home, I soon found myself at Shinatsu's bridge. I held on to the cold, steel bars, ignoring the bite of the night air. I looked out over the rushing, dark blue water and screamed, "What the hell is going on?" Ignorant of the fact that I was in public and that anybody and everybody could hear me, I shouted out. Nobody answered me, of course. Nobody even showed their face. But for me, a person searching for answers, that wasn't good enough. What am I meant to do now? I shouted out again, still ignorant of the people around me. I must look pretty unbalanced to other people right now. A teenage boy in a school uniform, shouting nonsense into the darkness. But I don't really care what they think. Right now, the only thing on my mind is Shinatsu. Alright guys, so as I yell out over the water and the bridge in vain, knowing now that Shinatsu and her family moved away about a decade ago, and that me seeing her is very mysterious, and causing me a lot of agony and pain playing the role of Hideaki. I think this is a good spot to stop this episode, and we will continue from right here in part 8 of my playthrough of No One But You. So it's definitely getting good now, so you can expect another episode or part 8 to be coming out on my channel real soon. Make sure you subscribe so you get notified when that comes out if you're not already subscribed. Please let me know if you've enjoyed this video by giving me a thumbs up. Definitely helps me to know that you guys appreciate and enjoy the content that I make and upload for you guys. This has been Zaxter99, and I'm looking forward to playing part 8 here soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.